Hey, how you guys doing, man? It's Joe D, and welcome to a little pop-up Friday Share Beer show. Today is Friday, August 24th. I thought I'd do a little pop-up show I have some stuff on my shirt, but to get hopefully maybe some of our friends that are across the pond like we used to back in the day. I don't, and I can't do these on a scheduled regular basis, but hopefully doing little pop-up shows like this here and there will help quite a bit, especially for, at a more decent hour. You know what I'm saying? For those across the pond, that is. Now, for those of us here in the States, for me, it's noon, just after noon time right now. People on the East Coast, some people might be getting off work now, but across the pond, it's definitely into the evening hour, early evening hour. So might be a more better time for you to jump in. Who knows? So if it is, jump in there and let's share a beer, man. Let's have a talk. So I'm going to put the link in the chat as I do on the normal Saturday show as well. So if you get in the chat, let me type this in there, and I'll put a link in the chat. If anybody wants to jump in, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, I will crack open a beer right now. I have this beer I've had for some time. I haven't reviewed it or talked about it yet, but I cannot say, man, some of these names, I cannot say where this is from because I literally can't say the word. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Poland's #1 premium beer. So it's a Polish beer. I can't say the name though. I don't know what that. How do you say that? What is that? Schweik? Schweik? I don't know. That's as close as I can get. It looks like a Pilsner. 5.6% ABV. This is a 330 milliliter bottle, 11.2 ounces for those of us here in the States. Let me pull open YouTube. I mean, YouTube. Untappd, and then we can take a look here. So let me see. Let me go to Untappd. Untappd, and we'll look up this beer a little bit. I took these right out of the fridge, so I've got 3 beers here. Hey, what's going on here? Why doesn't it have me signed in? What's up with that? I'm Joe_D. If anybody wants to friend me on Untappd, there's my name right there. How come it's not? There it goes. So there we are. Okay, so let me type this in here. What is that? ZYW. See what I'm saying? ZYWIEC. I don't know how you say that, man. I don't know how to say that. It's Heineken. Is that Heineken? Yeah, Heineken, Poland. Wow, absolutely no information about this beer, but we've got 98,000 ratings on here total. 1,300, basically almost 1,400 in the last 30 days. 5.6% ABV, 24 IBUs, and a 3.1 rating. So, that just kind of indicates to me that it's just kind of an everyday beer, no big deal. It's kind of like their Budweiser, if you will. Just that kind of appropriate sort of beer. I love that glass though. That's a cool glass. I like that glass. But it's exactly what my bottle looks like right there. So, and I did buy this quite a few months ago now, I think. So, but that's all the information I have on this beer as well. So let's see if we get some cool smoke out of it. Let's see. So there's the beer. You can see that the bottle's frosty, man. I mean, it's ice cold. So let me see if this isn't a twist cap, is it? No. Let's see if I can get some some smoke out of this bad boy. Oh, look at that, man. We're getting some decent smoke out of that. Not too crazy. Nothing I can make Neri eat it over, but we give it our best. 11.2 ounce bottle here, so I do have to take a picture. Now, as you can see, when I first pour it, we got this tip from Earth on the show, and I give it a nice little tap. That's with one tap. Look at that. That sucker's damn near clean. I could give it another tap and get rid of all those bubbles, but one pretty good solid little tap, and you can take care of quite a bit of those bubbles if you're into taking a picture of your beer like I am right now. There we go. Got the picture out of the way. Got to get that out of the way so that I don't get yelled at later by some of our other friends of the show. So, yeah, I'm expecting that nice, slightly, actually has a slight lemony smell to it. Yeah, it does actually. A slight little sweetness to it as well. And then just that little bit of that Pilsner bitterness that we're kind of used to. Hey, you know what? There's a couple hotties in here too, man. I didn't get to them. Yep. Actually, this is actually a damn good light lager. This is actually really good. It's got a nice, it's a real similar to what I just described in the nose. I could drink this all day as well, man. This is damn good. This has got, to me, mind you, it's even making my glass cold. I just took it out of the fridge. So keep that in mind. If I were to let this warm up a little bit, we'd be getting a lot more of the flavors, but a lot of these lagers, you don't necessarily want that, right? A lot of these, but it does have a sweetness to it. I'm not getting that lemon sort of taste, but it's still there, but it's not as the lemon in the nose is really faint as it is, but and it's even more so when you're tasting it. Hey, what's up, Coach? We got Coach in the chat. We got Earth in the chat. Hey, we got Dane in there. How you guys doing, man? We got Chris Clark. How you doing, man? Oh yeah, we got Dane says, "Hey Joe, do you brew your own beer?" No, I don't. I just drink it. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't have. I have to admit, in the what is now maybe is it been over 10 years that we've been doing these sorts of that I've been doing these sorts of videos and all this sort of thing. But since in the time, there's been a few times when I've been tempted to brew, but then I get over it. It's like a cold. It's like the flu. No charge. But no, I'm good sampling beer. I don't need to brew it. I don't need to like make every single thing that I consume. But I know some people really enjoy it, and I really enjoy watching people brew beer. I have helped some other people brew beer, but that's about it. And I'm kind of good with that. You know what I'm saying? We got Earth in there saying what up, and say a big what up to Earth as well. Chris Clark saying, "Hey Joe, I've been out of the live shows because the schedule has been tough, but let's see, I've been watching after the fact though. Glad to see this notification pop up today. Cheers." And then we got Coach, man, says, "Hey buddy," says he's at work. And Beer by the Numbers, what up, man? How you doing? I thought there'd be some people jump in, especially across the pond. We have our good friends across the pond and all those different countries. on the other side of the Atlantic, and even on the other side of the Pacific every once in a while. I don't think that this time necessarily is the best for them either. That's a tougher time zone, right? Like our friends that are in perhaps New Zealand and Australia, those are tougher places to hit. I thought I remembered we had a viewer that would jump in, God, maybe just even a handful of times from Japan, if I'm not mistaken, and would talk about Japanese craft beer, which up until recent years, for me at least, has been very, very, very limited. I have not had many Japanese. I have had some. You've got the one with the owl on it. I can't think of the name right offhand, but that particular brewery makes different beers, and I've had those. Yeah, we haven't, so it's kind of cool to do a show like this every once in a while when I can. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, see, beer by the numbers. He said it's tough to get Japanese beer in the Midwest as well. It's tough for all of us, man. I don't know. It's not something that any of us. I've watched a few recent beer reviewers that are kind of big. Earth turned me on to a couple of them actually, and I've watched a couple of their other videos. Now I don't see anybody reviewing Japanese beer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they have those couple of bigger craft breweries that are getting out here in the States, but I don't see too much. And there's got to be more than that. There's got to be more than just a couple. This is one of the Lone Rangers that I still have laying around from the 2017 Sierra Nevada Beer Camp. This is the Dunkelweiss. I'm going to crack this bad boy open while it's still chilled. This is a one-time only collaboration with, what is this, Ainer Brewery? This is their Dunkelweiss. So let me type this in here and see what we get. And it was this beer was packaged on 4/25/17. So it's got some age to it, but it has been in the fridge at least the whole time. So we will see what we get out of this bad boy. Let me see if I can type it up here, and that way I can we can all find out together what we'll get out of this. Let me see the beer count. Let me 2017. Whoops. Let me put it over here. Yeah, 2007. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not even showing you guys the screen here. So let me share the screen first, and then you can. 2017 beer camp, and we'll put in the Dunkelweiss. Hopefully this pulled it up. Yeah, Dunkelweiss. Yeah. So here it is. This is the beer I'm having. You got, wow, there's other people that have had this beer recently as well. Look at this. You got 19,000 total, 16 in the last 30 days. So I am not alone holding on to copies of this beer, which is kind of funny. So this is a Dunkelweissen classified, right? So you've got 5.7% ABV, 10 IBUs, and a 3.6 rating. Bavaria's Ayinger, I'm not saying that right, but are legends in the brewing industry, known for their love and perfection of classic German beer styles. Playing off their background, we came together to create this dark twist on the Bavarian style wheat beer. This beer features layers of wheat malt flavor and was handled through traditional open fermenters to highlight Einher's famous Hefeweizen yeast character. So we should get. I've had plenty in my younger days, though. When I was actually in Germany, had plenty of classic German wheat beers. That's for sure. So let's see what we get out of this one. Maybe we can get some good smoke first and see how Sierra Nevada is repping this beer. I've got my newer style Guinness glass for this one. See, we got some good chatting going here in the chat room. Label out. Boom! Look at that, baby! Do you see that? Eat it, Neri! Eat it, baby! Look at that! Woo-hoo! Nice! Did you see that smoke? That was awesome! Oh, that was awesome! Okay, so look at all the bubbles there, man. Look at all that. Look at all that. We're gonna give it a nice, firm tap. Look at that. All gone, man. Is that sweet? So if you want to get some good beer photos, one quick little nice tap like that, and you'll take care of the majority of them. So yeah, we made near eat it on that one. Made the old king of smoke tremble a little bit. He don't tremble. He can crush us anytime he wants. He could open a bud and it'd have more darn smoke than we can. This beer actually still smells really good. I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, you get just that classic, and it's kind of darker, So you've got a classic wheat beer, Weizen, that's it's you got that sweetness to it. Actually, it smells really good. Tons of carbonation in that beer. I don't know if you can still see it. I don't know if you can see that in there because it's dark, but it's it's actually in person. It's lighter than you're seeing on camera. It's more like way down here at the bottom. See that nice little thin layer of lightness down here at the bottom that you're seeing on camera? That's actually what it's like throughout the whole beer. It is actually lighter in person. It's not quite as dark as it is on camera. But I'm surprised at the carbonation for one. Getting like a nice roasty character in there. Not so much like bananas, but there is that faint kind of more of a, like when you let a banana ripen, and then even to the point where you're just gonna make what do you call that, banana pudding or bread pudding or something, when you really let them ripen and they're just a little too banana-y to just eat like that, you know what I'm saying? They might even be getting a little too many black spots and stuff on them, you know what I'm saying? But it tastes like more ripened banana, not so much a fresher, greener banana. But yeah, I definitely get more of that banana bread sort of taste. It's good. It's solid, man. It's thinner, not so not even medium bodied. I'd compare it a lot to this lager, as far as you see that how they're both just pretty. They both wheel around in the glass pretty darn easily. Just both of them, I think, are well, hell yeah. You got one at 5.5, 1.1 at 5.6, and one at 5.7. So solid beer, actually. This one had a better rating than the lager did. I kind of expect that a little bit, but no charge. But damn good, man. Let me see. Oh yeah, there's all kinds of comedy going on. Yeah, we got Dane in there. Oh, Bum jumped in. Oh, he said he'll be home in 30 minutes. He'll try to join in when he gets home there. Chris Clark says he's always loved my reactions to smoke. And Dane says, imagine if Joe put dry ice in his beer, he would go nuts. I know, because it's just all about the smoke, really, right? Like the smoke is the cool. There's so many cool things about beer. So especially when you get the beers that have all the stuff on them, you know, the flip top beers and the beers that have the little cages on them, and you got to undo the cage and take that off to get to the cork, and you know what I'm saying? All these sorts of things kind of just add to the experience of opening a beer. It's kind of like it's really comparable to a cigar, you know. You get the cigar out. It's a whole thing, right? It just kind of adds to the experience, right? Of course, if you're going to have a cigar, you have to have something to drink with the cigar, right? You can't just sit down with a cigar and a glass of water, right? Who the hell does that? It's either a couple of cubes in the glass and some sort of brown liquid, right? Or yeah, some people, like to have a little martini or something. You're gonna have something. A lot of us have different beers with different sort of styles of cigars. It's a whole process, right? Some leave the plastic on the cigar, and then you sit down, you put your glass down, you maybe have a little sip before, put your glass down, and then you kind of fiddle with it a little bit, get your cutter out, you know what I'm saying? You take the wrapping off. If you have that cellophane plastic wrapping on there, you take that off, and then you get the cutter out, and it's a whole thing, you cut it, and you got to roast the ends. Some of us roast the ends. Some people don't. No big deal. Either way, it's a whole process and lighten it. And, so it's all these things are part of the experience of doing your whatever little hobby we like to do. So the smoke for me is part of that. That's one thing that kind of cracks me up. I've seen other reviewers that definitely have much bigger channels than I do, but I've seen other reviewers get into smoke as well, and that's always fun, man, because to me that's the fun part. This is the inside of the cap on that Pilsner, or that lager, that light lager that I cracked open, that Polish lager. I mean, that thing looks like it's brand new. That's the cleanest looking cap I've seen. The only cap I've seen that's cleaner, and that's when they're literally new. That thing looks like it wasn't even used. There's the slightest little bend on the top of the cap where I pulled it. Otherwise, you can't hardly tell that cap was used. That is cool. And then you've got the cap for this beer camp, which has got a couple blisters in it, but other than that, it's pretty darn clean. That one's clean as well. It's got some blistering on the inside, which is fine, especially for a beer that's over a year old. It's about almost a year and a half. So pretty darn good, man. But I'm impressed with that light lager, because I don't know. It says the best before. Best before 4/07/2017. So they were both bottled around the same time. Yeah, because the beer camp was bottled on April 25th, and this one was April 7th of 2017. So they're both the same age, pretty much, man. That's hilarious. Let's see. It says he wished he had an Earth's been having a conversation, I think, with somebody. CJ, hey Joe, what would be a great collab beer for 2018? I'm not sure. We'll have to ask the guys tomorrow on tomorrow's show. Tomorrow, by the way, tomorrow is the Saturday show. That's our main show. 7 p.m. Eastern every Saturday is the main Share a Beer show. I'm just kind of jumping in here. Thought I'd share a beer. I had to be home today. I had hired a new bug guy. Anybody else have a bug guy? I didn't really want to make another bill, but this year, I generally do have a lot of crickets in my area, and this year the crickets have been insane. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna hire somebody, because it's been crickets. I get tons of crickets this year, especially. It's been crazy with the crickets. And so, here in Arizona, they warn you, if you've got a lot of crickets, sooner or later you're gonna have scorpions, because scorpions love crickets. And I do have a lot of lizards, and so they tell me the lizards are here because there's crickets, and they like crickets to eat on. So the bug guy explained to me, he's like, yeah, you've got a whole ecosystem going on in your yard. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I realize that. One thing, it started with one thing, and now here's the other thing to eat that thing, and then here's the other thing to eat that thing, and so it's a whole system here. We got the birds that fly around, the hawks and stuff, and I could swear I saw like a buzzard or some vulture or something. But in any case, big birds, man, flying around to get the cats, because the cats are here to eat the lizards and the gophers, and and the lizards are here to eat all the darn crickets. So there's a whole ecosystem going on here, man. So the bug guy said, we'll get rid of the crickets, but that might get rid of everything else too. So yeah, we'll see. I don't mind the cats actually, or the lizards. I mean, the lizards don't bug. What do? They just look around. Stick their little tongue out on us wall. Kind of fun. And then the cats, they're not even my cats. I don't even own any animals, but the cats are always in my yard, I guess, because of the lizards. And every once in a while, they'll like parade the lizard in front of my sliding glass door. Make sure I see that they've got the lizard hanging from their mouth, man. The darn lizard's just I don't know, man. It's fun. You know what? A while ago, I didn't know cats dig like a dog, but earlier this morning, I saw a cat in the back. He was just digging and digging. I figured he must have been looking for something, because I never seen cats dig like that before. He was digging like a dog, but that was kind of crazy. That is a really, really good beer. I haven't had a German style wheat beer in a little while, and especially one that I've enjoyed like this. This is actually really good. I'm impressed. I don't know. This must have already came out for 2018, and I just didn't get it. Obviously, because I think, well, this was from April of last year, so I would assume that April of this year it came out, the Beer Camp series. I didn't get it, but and then my last one that I have is from Ballast Point, another old beer. I got their Pumpkin Down, their Scottish style, their Scottish ale with pumpkin. Our Piper Down Ale with pumpkin and spices. So this has got to be old, because I've had it for a while, and we're already into another pumpkin season. There's something written down here at the bottom, but I don't know how to tell it apart. Yeah, because I don't see anything else on the bottle, like around the neck or around the bottom here, but there's definitely some coating on the bottom. If you can see that, maybe if you can tell me how to decode that, because I don't know. Oh, Earth says, uh, maybe you could do an update on your stellar. I'm curious what's still hiding there. Man, I am too. I know, I am as well. I'll have to I'll have to do an update on that. Maybe I'll put that on Facebook. I've been putting some stuff up there lately, by the way. So I've been getting better, definitely, at updating the Facebook page, the Jody Reviews Facebook page. Definitely getting better at that. Yeah, there's so there's some more content up there. Let me share the screen with you real quick, show you that. So there's more. It's still loading, but there's more content up there. I put that Sam Adams Beers of Fall pack on there. Some people commenting on the different things. I don't know how. This is what I don't understand about Facebook. I don't see, because and then right away it goes to the photos. It doesn't just show you. I don't know. At least it doesn't on my side. You can see what I'm looking at. I see the one post and then that's it. I don't get Facebook. I really don't. I try to maintain it. I try to keep it up, and and what happens on there, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know where the other stuff is that I put on there. I don't know what. I see 2 posts and that's it. The rest is just gone. I don't know. Maybe they delete it. I don't know. I don't know what happens on there. But I do. I try to post on there, try to make an effort. What I do, I think they've got some new features that I might try to experiment around with a little bit. I think they've been trying to from what I hear, they've been trying to upgrade their live features, their live video features. I still don't know that anybody's as good as YouTube at this at all. Google's got them kicked right in the butt. The problem is that a lot of people are sick of all the restrictions that YouTube's been putting on content. And I get a lot of that because I create content myself. But at the same time, it's like, man, killing me over here. And I know I've been hearing some of the other people that are bigger on YouTube as well. Some of the big channels have been putting more content, on both sides. So they've been putting more content on the Facebook side because there's less restrictions there. There's less, a little more freedom there to upload content. As far as if you want to have a little music in there and stuff like that, you can get tired of getting notifications from YouTube, copyright claims and all this sort of thing, and then worrying about if your status, because they have like a green, a red, yellow, green system. You know what I'm saying, on YouTube, and so you want to stay in the green. You know what I'm saying? You want to stay good to go, right? But they have this, you don't want to go yellow, and all that. So we have Tom in there. He says, "What's up? How you doing, Tom? What's up, man?" I started watching a show called Trust. I think it was on FX originally. Started watching that. I'm only into. I just started this morning. I'm into episode 4. I haven't finished episode 4. I'm into that. Just started that one. That one's okay. About the Getty family. It's all right. A few people got killed. It's okay. Look at some people are dying and stuff like that. Okay. And I guess the one of the main kids, the grandfather, I guess he's kind of a dark dude. Mr. Getty himself, I guess he's kind of a dark dude, so like everything's black and all this sort of thing. So that keeps some interest going. You know what I'm saying? Kind of a cold-hearted guy as well. So yeah, Then he has a bunch of girlfriends, and so that part's kind of interesting as well. And then I watched also. I watched Loving Pablo. I watched that movie last night. That was all right. Not really that great. I could have passed it, to tell you the truth. It was okay. Nothing's as good as Narcos, right? You're just trying. I watched that other series on Netflix, the one with the other drug lord, Mexican drug lord. Oh my God, how did I forget the name of it? But it was okay as well. It wasn't really that. How could I forget the name of it? I just watched it. Anyway, but it was okay. Yeah, God, how did I forget this? That one's driving me nuts because I just watched it. Let me see. And we got football season coming up, man. How do you guys feel about football season? Are you you know what, man? I've been thinking, because you guys know I'm a season ticket holder. Been a season ticket holder for years. Yeah, El Chapo, that's it. Casey got it, man. El Chapo. I watched El Chapo all 3 seasons. Now that one took a little while, but I meant to bring that one up. It was okay. I still don't think it was as good as Narcos, but it was okay. You know what I'm saying? You do remember some. I remember at least some of those things happening. I don't remember all those things. I actually remember more from Narcos. I remembered more about Pablo Escobar. Mostly because I was in the service for a lot of that, and so there was a lot of, boy, am I gonna end up getting deployed in these areas? You know what I'm saying? Because they did that for some other cats, and so I was like, oh man, I don't want to get deployed down there. So I do remember those sorts of things happening. But with El Chapo, I don't remember. I remember some things being mentioned, but what I remember about it, and I don't remember El Chapo's name coming up as much as I remember hearing about some of those killings, some of those big brutal killings. I remember hearing about that. But that was an okay series, worth giving. And then one of the Netflix series that I just watched as well was Afflicted. Was that the name of it? Let me see here. I think that was the name of it. How come it's not showing up? I think that was the name of it, Afflicted. Where there it is. Yeah, I watched that. That was okay. It's people that have problems that are in their mind, and it's something that you can you say, well, that's all in your head, and it is. It's in their head for the most part. But the problem is, just like with a lot of us, you get something going on in your head, whether be stress related or however it gets there, it can cause a real physical problem. Something can start in your mind, and then your mind can make your body ill. It can come in a form of a rash or something eternally, or a lot of our problems are in our head, and it's a matter of getting through them. And it's not easy to get through those problems. So that was an interesting show, but a lot of it's just like, God, snap out of it. Like, I don't know, but how do you do that, man? That's the tough part, right? And so it is an interesting show, but it could be a tough one because there's still that part of you that wants to shake somebody and go, just snap out of it, but it is something all in their head. But it's no different than you getting some really bad news. Your mama just died, right? And that news could send such stress to your brain right away that you get a stomach ache. That happens to a lot of us, right? You get so upset about something. Traffic's bad, so you get a stomach ache, right? And that happens to us, and that's all in your head. It's something that's caused by our mind, and so, but some of those people legitimately had what I would say, there's a couple of them, at least two of them, I think, that had legitimate chemical problems in their bodies. That that who knows, but there was that one. There was some people in there that had, like, I don't know, kind of selective reactions to certain stuff at certain times. I don't know. Interesting, I guess. What else have I watched on Netflix? There's a lot of stuff. I've heard that Netflix wants to start putting commercials in there, kind of. So when you're binging, I haven't seen it. I was just binging last night. I haven't seen it yet, but they want to start, like, so in between episodes, they might show like something on one of their other series that's on Netflix, that you might be interested in. That sort of thing is what I'm hearing that Netflix wants to start putting in there. I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like Netflix is a kind of a commercial-free place. It's like a commercial-free zone. No commercials here, man. And I do remember a while back watching Netflix and getting like one of those little preview sort of deals in between shows or before a show started. I was like, is this a commercial on Netflix? And they must have been playing around with it here and there and trying to gauge reaction a little bit to that sort of thing. So Netflix they don't report a lot of stuff that they do, right? It's just reporters kind of guessing on so they don't report on a lot of their statistics and stuff. Hey, we got Seth Talks Film in here, and he says, "What's up, Jody?" And then here I am talking about Netflix stuff. That seems like, if Seth Talks Film, that must be his thing, right? Seth's welcome to jump in. I put a link at the top of the chat. Maybe he knows more about these sort of things than I could ever know. I'm going to finish this lager. And then I put a little water in this glass so I don't have to, worry about it getting kind of nasty from just sitting there. Oh, you know what I downloaded? I've got a copy of that Mr. Rogers film. There's that documentary on Mr. Rogers that finally dropped. As far as I know, it's like on iTunes. And yeah, I don't know. Can I pull up my iTunes? Probably. Let me see here. Let me close the program. And let me pull up my iTunes. Let's see if I can show that to you. It's that documentary on Mr. Rogers. And I think it's called Won't You Be My Neighbor or something. I'm a little interested in that. I grew up and Mr. Rogers was out. I didn't necessarily watch him all the time, but I think most of us are familiar with at least who Mr. Rogers was. And so, it's kind of interesting from that aspect. Let me see if I can find it here. Let me share my screen here and show you the yeah, there it is, iTunes. It's still loading up, man. Why is it moving so slow? Sometimes iTunes, I don't know, man. It's like a love-hate with a lot of things from Apple, right? It's like, I love Apple, but then there's all the, I don't know, you gotta, let's see, some of the movies. There it is. Yeah. Won't You Be My Neighbor? It's this documentary. Yeah, available for rent. September 4th. So, and from what I hear, I heard it from a movie reviewer that already saw it. From what I hear, you know, you get scared because with the climate going on these days and everything, I'm like, oh man, don't tell me, are they going to make Mr. Rogers this horrible guy? Am I going to watch this thing? How long is this thing? How long is this thing here? An hour and 34 minutes. If after an hour and 34 minutes, am I going to hate Mr. Rogers? I want to hate Mr. Let me at least have Mr. Rogers, right? And so I was relieved when the movie reviewer said it was a good documentary and you won't hate Mr. Rogers at the end of it. We can still like him. So that was kind of good. How you doing, Bum? Now, Bum's good. From that area. And
I was just going to say, you're talking about a man from... Can you hear me?
Is it just me? Yeah. Let me check my settings here, man. Sorry.
Okay, I'll keep talking and you let me know.
There it is. It's on my end. Yeah, I didn't have my...
Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, you're talking about a man from who operated out of my hometown. He was born in Latrobe, PA, home of Rolling Rock, former home of Rolling Rock. But of course, I'm sure everybody knows the Mr. Rogers Show came from WQED in Pittsburgh, its whole run. So,
yeah.
Yeah, a guy that I knew for a few years worked with him at the station.
Oh,
that he was exactly the same, you know, as you would expect, exactly the same off camera. What you saw on TV is what he was. No skeletons in his closet. No, people tried though. People tried. There was all those urban legend. The big urban legend was he always wore long sleeves because he was in the Korean War and he was covered with tattoos. and he had a tattoo for each kill.
Oh my God. Mr. Rogers, a tattoo for each kill. Can you imagine that?
That's why he always wore the long sleeve sweaters. But there are numerous shows in which he's wearing short sleeves. So urban legend.
Oh, we've got yeah, I remember Tom in here, THOM. Hey Joe, it's been a while. It's not been, I mean, hey Joe, not been on here in a while. Tom from Yorkshire. If you remember me, the cider guy, I do remember someone always having cider on here. Hope you are well and everyone else is doing good. So yeah, no, we absolutely remember you. But I'm going to be watching that this weekend, so I was happy to finally see that because, you know, I liked Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, one of the good guys on TV. He was, you know, good to the point of boring, right? Like he's, you know.
Oh, I liked him when I was a kid. My grandmother hated him. My grandmother was a rough old lady. She hated him with a passion.
Oh, with a passion too, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Never found out why, but just, you know, she was just I could see where somebody with his gentle personality would not be likable to somebody with like a rough personality.
You know, it's funny. You know, I'm not a gentle personality, that's for sure. But because I smile a lot, I have a couple of enemies. I have a couple of people that don't like me. Yeah, it's weird. You know, I mean, in teachers' own, I don't push myself on those people. You know what I'm saying? But there's people that I am in contact with in my actual life. And yeah, they you know, I just smile a little bit too, you know, I laugh a little bit too much for them.
Do they know you well, or they know you from a distance?
Yeah, well, yeah, from a distance, I would say, but we have to deal with each other. So, I don't push myself on them. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of, I know that they tolerate me. They don't necessarily, and that's fine. We don't have to. There's nothing that says we have to be best buds. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But,
there are people who, when they see somebody that they say, don't trust anybody that's smiling all the time. They're hiding something.
Yeah, and and that's fine. I just I don't see any reason to be grumpy all the time. I don't see any reason to frown. To me, that's my own personal thing. I just see it as what good does it do?
Yeah.
What good does it do? Like we all judge each other, and I welcome people to judge. As you know, I welcome people's judgment. Hey, judge away. You're human, man. Like, don't let someone tell you, "Oh, don't judge." No, judge, man. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? Just don't be an a-hole about it. You know what I'm saying? But you can't. Whether I say something to you or not, you're going to judge me. That's what we do. I mean, it's human nature, right? So, I realize whether I say something or not, yeah, I judge people too, right? Like, oh, I don't. In your head, you're thinking stuff just looking at someone that hasn't said boo to you, and you're, oh, can I get along with this person? Do I like this person? You have already in 10 seconds figured out what kind of person that is in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what we do, man.
I got to tell you,
like this guy.
I had, well, I don't know if I had any plans to drink a beer at all today or not, but I definitely had no plans to drink a beer at this time. But then I saw you were actually, I rerouted myself. I was headed somewhere else, but it was nothing that couldn't wait. And I was like, oh, I'll just go home and say hi to Joe on the show. So,
oh, awesome, man. Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah.
And I'm joining you in
cool.
Sierra Nevada.
I thought that bottle looked familiar.
This is this year's Oktoberfest.
This year's, okay. All right,
yeah.
Let's check it out, man.
And I'll tell you, this is my final one of my 6-pack that I bought. I am really enjoying this. I'm going to buy more of this.
Oh.
If you recall from past shows in the past couple years that all of us that have had Sierra's Oktoberfest have said that it doesn't taste like your standard American version of Oktoberfests. Mm-hmm. This one is no different. It does not taste like your standard Oktoberfest. And there's something about this one that I really love. I want one of it was either Earth or maybe Sadiq checked this in, and they said that they didn't care for the butterscotch in the finish, which actually I like.
Ooh, butter.
And
yeah,
tasting
butterscotch sounds good.
Yeah.
So you're definitely getting that in the finish there, right kind of towards the end.
Yeah. You know me in tasting, though. Had I not had that suggested to me, I might not have thought it myself. But since I read it, I was like, yeah, I am tasting that. But I think it was Sadiq maybe that said he didn't like it on account of that.
Uh-huh.
But I am really enjoying this. I've had it on tap. And like I said, this is the end of my 6-pack, and I am going to get more of this.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to look for and pick that up. I'm on a color. I love the color. I was noticing that already. And this 2017 Weizen that I had was it. And I've still got a little bit in the glass here, still damn good.
Yeah, what is that, around 8% maybe?
No, 5.7.
That's a Dunkelweiss? It's that low? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Yeah, 5.7, yep.
I thought Dunkelweiss were usually a lot higher. I could be wrong.
Yeah, wheat beers I think maybe go as high as 7.
Yeah.
I don't know too many wheat beers that are higher than that. Are they? Or
The Dunkels, I thought.
you think the Dunkels are higher? In any case, let me talk about this one that you're having. Let me show everybody this one that you're having. You're having the this year's version of the Oktoberfest from which is a collab. So it's a 2018 collab. Someone was asking about 2018. Oh yeah. What I thought was a great collab for this year. Well, maybe this is one of them right here. We got 4,500 ratings, 4,301 in the last 30 days. So here you go, man. This is a new release, no charge, new release. So 6%, no IBUs rated, 3.88 bottle caps.
Pretty good score for an Oktoberfest.
Sierra Nevada's doing some great collabs, man. I mean, here's another German collaboration. The world's oldest brewery. Here you go.
Yeah, what is that? Weihenstephan.
Yeah, I can't say these names.
Weihenstephan. Weihenstephan.
Why bother saying the name? You know what I'm saying? It's just too damn long. That's their own fault. For making it that damn long.
But I give this beer, I give this beer 2 Joe D thumbs up. Bing, bing, bing.
Really? So you like it that much? I'm definitely gonna buy some. I promise. I'll be buying that. I don't doubt if I get some right after the show.
Definitely worth trying. You won't dislike it. I don't.
We got Tom says he's tempted to jump in. Hey, you're more than welcome to, my friend. Jump in and let's talk about it. Yeah, we haven't seen you in a while, heard from you in a while. You could update us on where you're at and all those sorts of things. That'd be cool, man. Yeah, let's have a discussion. I'm gonna crack open my last beer. I've still got a little bit of that Weizen, but this is the Ballast Point Brewing. Let me look it up first before I crack it open. So we've got the Pumpkin Down. Pump. Some are just pump, and this one's pump. You know the difference?
I was going to make a West Virginia joke, but I won't.
Oh my God! What could that be? What would the what? What is that?
Well,
I gotta hear it now.
Well, it involves pumpkin.
Oh, so I get you.
Definite
okay.
letter P.
Okay.
Definite letter P involved when you're from West Virginia.
Okay, I got you there. Yeah, all right. Yeah, yeah, pumpkin. Yeah, okay. So we've got 89,000 ratings. Man, this is 80, basically 83,000 ratings on here. This is kind of wild when I see this sort of disparity. You've got 83,000 total and just 36 in the last 30 days. Probably because the beer's not even out yet. This is last year's copy. You know what I'm saying? But there's still 36 other souls out there in the last 30 days that are just like me, still have a bottle laying around. Classified as a pumpkin or yam beer, 5.8% ABV, 22 IBUs, 3.72 bottle cap rating. Some might think we're out of our gourd for making a pumpkin ale, but our pumpkin down is not like the others. The caramel and toffee maltiness of our Piper Down Scottish Ale is the perfect backdrop. Hello, it is Ballast Point Brewing, for Christ's sake. So of course they're going to use another beer to make another beer. They don't just make a new car, they borrow the chassis from something else, and then that's how that works. Just before bottling, we add a subtle amount of spice to complement, but not overwhelm the earthy flavor. It was a smash at the brewery, and we think you'll agree. So, yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see what this one, if we get the caramel and the toffee, which actually could be kind of butterscotchy, like you were saying. I like that description. I haven't heard that in a while. Nice artwork on the front of the bottle. I like the skull kind of crashing down there a little bit. So let's see, man. Let's see if we can.
Is that bomber?
Yeah,
no, it's 12 ounce.
No, 12 ounce. 12 ounce. Yeah. It's not a 16. Yeah, 12. Yeah. So here we go. Oh, yeah, baby. Look at that. Eat it, Neary. 2 in a row. Yeah. Woo. Yeah, man. Neary's like rolling around right now, man. Like, damn it. I must get in there and defend my title. Yeah, because that's the way Neary talks. We all know that. So here we go again, guys. This is a third time showing you all the bubbles and a nice firm tappa. Boom! Look at that. All clean, baby. Yeah. Yeah. That's how that works.
There. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how that works. Yeah. Give a nice little tappa on the bottom end there, baby. Yeah. You know you like that. So here we go. Oh, yeah, man. I'm getting tons of toffee in this bad boy. Tons. Spicy. You know, you get all that, all the same spice as pumpkin pie spice. So this is going to be more pumpkin pie type pumpkin beer than pumpkin fruit. Pumpkin or fruit, right? More pumpkin fruit sort of beer. Yeah, definite more pumpkin spice, more pumpkin pie sort. Wow. Wow, that took a little bit, but then I was just about to say too, okay, it's nice and subtle, and you're getting some nice malt sweetness from it, and a slight little and then all of a sudden it hits you, and you're just like, wow, there's that pumpkin. You know what I'm saying? And you get that nice pumpkin spice sort of taste. Oh, Han says he's thirsty. Hey, man, if you're thirsty, you know, jump in, grab a beer.
So it's held up pretty good after a year?
It's held up pretty darn good. Yeah, let's see. I was trying to look for, and I showed the coding on the bottom earlier.
I think they use a Julian code now, don't they? I think.
They must, because I can't figure it out, but it is down there.
Can you read the numbers? Sometimes I can decode.
Oh, yeah, no, it's very, it's PK33 is on top, and then it's 17195, and then a space, and then you have 1139. So I would assume the 1139 is 11:39 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you said it was 17139?
17195.
That was brewed on the 195th day of 2017. So that would be around let's see, 180 would be the end of June. So brewed about a little over a year ago, sometime in July.
Yeah, a little over a year. Okay. Well, we kind of put it together just like that. All right. Good job. Yeah. So
that's what I'm here for that kind of stupid stuff.
Yeah. Well, Mark would have put that together in seconds, man. That guy's good at that. The numbers are his thing.
Yeah. He's a numbers cruncher.
He is, and that's exactly why he does what he does for a living, man. That's his thing, is the numbers. But this is actually, I'm surprised at how on the front end you get something, and then it just hits you on the back of your palate. You get that nice pumpkin pie sort of spiciness. Very interesting, man. I would have to agree with the 3.72 rating. If there was a way to give like a 3.7 rating on Untapped, I would. I think you either have to go 3.5 or 3 3/4, don't you?
Yeah, you can give a quarter, half, 3/4 stars.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't. I think it would depend on my mood if I went 3 3/4 or 3.5.
Yeah, actually, the more I've thought about it, I wish they would just go by single star rating, 1 through 5, because I find myself overthinking some of these. Most of the beers I have now, almost everything I score, unless it's really bad, if it's average to below average, I'll give it 3 1/4. If it's very good, I'll give it 3.5. If it's really, really good, 3.75. And if I love it, 4, occasionally 4 1/4. So almost all my ratings are within a 1 point range. And it's like, if those 3/4 stars weren't there, I'd probably just give it 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars.
Yeah,
A little bit too precise, it seems.
I can agree with you on the overthinking, because you do definitely, not you, but
Yeah.
I as well, definitely tend to overthink it. Now that you mention that, yeah, because you're like, well, but with that said, I love the quarter rankings because I think that there's a lot of beers that definitely live in there, and I think they're well deserved to be at a 3 1/4, or some beers are worth, to me, because to me, man, the closer to 5 is just really hard to get. I mean, if I give something a 5, I've got all the confidence in the world. Not only do I love it, but you're gonna love it too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I still have never given anything a 5, and I doubt if I will, because to me, by saying that something is a 5, I will never ever drink anything better than this ever again. So why bother?
yeah, for me, it's in style. Like, it's in that style. So like, and that's why certain beers just will never hit a 5, because they're certain styles just aren't 5 worthy, right? As much as I love browns, I've never had a brown that's like, oh, dude, excuse me while I rub one out. Like, that's just not gonna happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just brown. I love browns too. It's one of my favorite styles, but it's still like that sessionable style, right? It's not one of those overwhelming styles. Alt beers, they're not another one of those styles. But stouts can be fantastic. We have porters; they can be incredible. We have IPAs. Hello, that's without saying. Lagers. I don't know that a lager could ever be a 5. Could a lager be a 5?
To me, no, but I think to a lot of people it could.
Yeah, sure. I mean, any of these could. Any of these could, and that's kind of what makes it cool. Is once you find a reviewer that fits your sort of style, and you kind of, even if you don't agree with their rating on something, you can at least like live within their rating system, the way that they go about giving something a 5 or a 2. I think a 10 is too much. I think anything above a 5 is too much. Don't you? I think that's where you get to overthinking it. Like, if you go to a 1 to 10 scale.
But if you go through 1 through 10, it's kind of the same thing of 1 through 5,
Okay.
where you have it broken down into quarters.
Yeah. As soon as I got it, as soon as those last words came out of my mouth, I was like, you know what? I'd love to have all those back because it is the same thing. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. It is very, very much the same thing. Once you go 1 to.
Although if they would do the 1 through 5 scale with maybe half stars, that would be the equivalent of 1 through 10.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong. If you just had a basic 1 through 10 with nothing in between, that would be fine with me.
with nothing in between is the caveat, right? You'd have to
Yeah.
have nothing in between. It would have to be just okay. You're not giving it a 5.5 for Christ's sake, and you know we're not doing that. You're going to give it a 5 or a 6,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah. If you're going to go 1 to 10, I don't want to hear a 6.25 for Christ's sake. Like no. Yeah, because then it's almost I don't know what, a 1 to 50 scale at that point.
But I've thought about beers that I've given like 3.25 stars to, and I was like, you know what? If they're with not these quarter stars here, I'd probably just give it a 2. I'd probably score everything a 2, a 3, and a 4.
Yeah, it'd be tough for me. It really would, because there's a lot of beers that aren't quite like, for me, a lot of, like, I think a lot like what you just said. A lot of beers for me live between 3 and 4.5. A lot of them.
Most of mine do.
Yeah, they live right there. If I'm giving something a 2 something, it's probably because it's big beerish, more than likely. Or, it's if I gave something like a 2 3/4 star, it's probably good for big beer. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a little bit better than a Budweiser, because a Budweiser's a definite 2 1/4 beer maybe. I think what do I give Miller? I think I give Miller like 2 1/4 maybe. I hope I do. Find out here in a second. Let's see here. I've got 93 of these things in here.
Oh my God.
And I bet you that's not even close to being all of them. I've actually given them, 2 1/4. Yeah, I was right. Yep, 2 1/4. Yep.
I'm gonna look at some of my bad beers that because I've been reliving some bad beers lately, and I'm gonna see what I think I've usually given them around 3.
Yeah, I've got, because these are the beers that are on sale regularly. So Pabst is on sale regularly when I go to the bar. I don't want to spend a lot of money down there. You know what I'm saying? I just want to have some beers, socialize a little bit. It's the original social network. Well, one of them. One of the original live social networks, right? You sit around the bar and you shoot the stuff. And so I've got 11 of these logged in. I promise you, you could quadruple that easily. Sometimes I just don't have time to log all these. I don't have the kind of time. And then here are my 93 for Miller Lite. So guess what's on sale more? They've got 1.4 million. I wonder what's got the most check-ins. How do I check that, bum? Is there a way?
I think there is, but I don't know. It would take me a while to figure it out on my own. There's got to be a way.
What's got the most check-ins? Okay, so Earth says, do you guys look at your Untappd rating graph? There is a bit of data in itself there for you. So in my graph?
Oh, is that like the little bar graph that shows what percentage you've rated each beer?
Really?
How many? Like it's like a little bar graph that shows like the bar, for how many 3-star beers you have, and
how do I find it?
Equalizer. Looks like an equalizer bar.
Really? Where's this bar at? How do I find that?
Let me go to my home thing and
in my account settings or something? No.
Let me see. Because I get confused with the website versus the phone app, because each one has different features. I've looked at it a million times.
Earth says maybe it's mobile only.
Yeah, it might be.
If you find it on your mobile, let me know where on your mobile you found it. Maybe there's a way. Okay. So here's beer history. But this would just be for me, right? This
Right,
ain't
right.
for the whole Untapped. Um, Man, I would
Oh
love to know.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
top
Joe.
rated. Wouldn't it be just
It's on the mobile app. If you just, it's right on your basic homepage. If you know your
oh
profile there, I'm looking at it
oh
right now. I will. You see the little bar graph there?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it's what does it say? Ratings right there? Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
1,021 total for me. And the bar graph
Hmm.
visually shows what I was just telling you. How all my ratings do fall within that uh, star and a half range from 3
How
to.
cool. I just got this on here. On my let me stop this screen share and show you what I got on my mobile. Direct messaging.
Oh, through Untapped.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that
So
on.
yeah, new feature on
Huh.
Untapped right here. So you can direct message. So it says right here, direct messages, chat with your beer loving friends without ever having to leave Untapped.
Oh,
You
that's
can
cool.
now send beers, breweries, and venues directly to your friends, or just plan your next great beer adventure. Go
Cool.
to your inbox and tap the messages icon in the top right and get started. That's cool. So, like, for instance, me and Mark are going to Denver.
Hmm.
Quite often, let's say Mark, I'm going to go over to this bar, and you're like, I'm going to go over to this one. You still want to meet up in like an hour. Well, now, hey, you found yourself maybe after 20 minutes, that bar sucked. I'm going to go to another one. But now I could just, message him right away. Yeah, I'm at this bar and this is what's going on. And he could tell me, hey, I'm at this one. This was, so that's cool, man. So you said that was in your profile. Let me
Yeah, if
look at
you
my
go to your, you click on your,
Oh,
you see it?
yeah. I did not know that was there. So let me see. Boy, that would be nice to see. Let me see. Recent activity. Your events, your nearby events, your top beers, venues. Because this is a ratings thing here. Wow. Let me see. Let me
When the
try to
show's
figure.
over, when the show's over, I'll look around. I'm sure it's fairly easy. It's just a matter of finding the right thing to click on as far as what beer has the most ratings.
I'm trying to. Okay, so let me see here. I'm trying to see. Okay, let me see if this will show. No, it's not. I was hoping that might work. Yeah, Google can't pick up. Darn it. And you know what? I have an app. It's weird because for all the stuff that I can do like that, I mean, boom, with my phone to my different Apple devices, the only Apple device I have a hard time doing anything to is the iMac. Like I could just right now, I'd like right now, boom, put my phone up on my Apple TV that shows on the TV next to me. I have a hard time doing that to the computer. And there's so many times that I want to do that. There's so many times that I want to show what's on my phone on my computer. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
why do I need a third party app to do that?
yeah.
It's ridiculous to me. But that
Yeah. In
Apple,
2018, you wouldn't think you would
yeah,
need.
it unless there's something I'm missing that I
And
don't know about the Mac, you know what I'm saying? But
you're asking the wrong person with that.
yeah, I knew that. Yeah. Um, Yeah, unless there's something I'm missing, it just doesn't make any sense to me why they do that. And let me find. I haven't used this app in forever. I know that I used to have it. I'm gonna try to find this so that I can show everybody what is looking for the app. God, I don't even remember the name of it. But I've known that I have needed to do this so many times that I went ahead and found an app that would let me do it. It's such a pain in the butt. It's like, why would why do I need a third party app to get this done? It's ridiculous. I still can't find it. I don't know what. Huh. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Maybe one of these days I'll grow up and figure it out. But yeah, let me put my, there it is. Let me see. Yeah, Earth says that's the newest update is the so if there is anybody that is Untapped and we're friends on Untapped, and I'm Joe_D. Let me click the ratings. Yeah, it looks like it's only on mobile. Yep. But that is, I can show you my screen on my phone, and that is what, just like Bum was saying, that's the graph. That'd be kind of cool to see, man. So you've got everything from just a quarter rating, which I've never done. I don't. Apparently, there's 10 ratings that I've given. The lowest rating I have given is a 1.5, and I've done that 10 times. Wow, I didn't realize that. That's kind of cool to know. And then the next lowest is a 2. I've given 44 times. I've given beers a 2 rating. I like this graph. Why isn't it available on more stuff? It makes it so easy. All I got to do is run my thumb over the graph. So if I don't drop my phone here. So what I'm doing is I'm simply taking this and just moving it back and forth. You see that? Look how cool that is. So I can move it to here and see what that is. What does that say? So I've given a 3.5 rating 207 times. I like this information. So, and you could just take that and move it over. You hold your finger on that and you can move it. Yeah, it was working a second ago.
Now,
there it goes.
I was hoping that you could click on each one of those and it would bring up all the beers in which you had given that particular rating, but it does not appear to do that. Man, are we spoiled?
Well,
why doesn't it do that? Damn it.
What happens is you get a feature, and it's like with any other question, and especially a question you didn't even know that you had. The minute you get the answer to a question, it raises more questions. Is all it does, right? So, it's that need for more information. Like, oh, well, if I can do that, well, why can't I just click on that and get right? And so that'll be the next thing that I bet you magically working on. Like, oh, you got to be kidding me! Now they want that, But that makes all the sense in the world, yeah. So why couldn't I just click that? Yeah, because that immediately, especially now that you mentioned it, now I want to know, what are those 207 beers that I've given a 3.5 rating to?
Yeah. And I just noticed on mine under my notifications in the upper right is the little chat symbol. So I do have it too.
Oh, okay. So you do have it. All right.
And I click on it. It says you have no messages. Tap the button below to send a message.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So here, for those of you that are familiar with Untapped, so I go here, I click that, and then I go up here to when I want to log a beer. When I go to my account, I click over here, okay, and then you get all this information. And Bum's talking about, you click that, and that's the new chat feature. So I got Bum in there right now. And so, yeah, I can say hi to Bum right now. I can say, hey, dude.
Okay, and I just sent you a message.
Yeah, and Bum just sent me a message. So now me and Bum are chatting on here. So that is cool. I might actually open up my notifications for Untap now, because I had those off years ago. But
probably because of me with my 100 check-ins at one time.
It's because of a lot of people, yeah. But yeah, maybe that, and that would actually, if they would break down the notifications, so if it could just be, I just want chat notifications, that'd be awesome, you know? But if it's just turn on notifications, period, I probably won't do it, because then, yeah, I mean, you get, and I don't blame people, but there's some people that, and I do the same thing. I just don't have time to check my Untap on sometimes a daily basis. And then there's some days that I do. So it might take me most of the week because I just get so busy during my 5-day work week. And then next thing you know, I'm catching up. So you're going to get 2 million check-in, you know what I'm saying? 2 million notifications.
Now, you are aware, aren't you, that you can select individual untapped friends. You can turn off and on individual notifications from those untapped friends, because I don't have all of my friends selected to receive notifications when they check in something. I have you. I have everybody from the Share a Beer show. The one guy who is a schedule collector, who, my God, he's up to like 4,000 check-ins or something. He's checking in constantly. I don't have notifications for him, but you can select each individual and turn their little bell off or on to get notifications just from that friend.
Well, that might help. Yeah, that'll help for sure.
So you can keep mine turned off.
Yeah, that would definitely help, because you know, I'll get you know, just on top of other stuff that's happening on your phone. You know what I'm saying? You can get so much stuff happening, so it can be, you know, quite annoying, especially when you know, I am, some may not know, so I just say it. I am a local city pickup and delivery driver. So if you do a lot of Amazon ordering, you do a lot of ordering online, and you order big things that can't be delivered through UPS, a company like UPS Parcel, and they have to end up coming LTL, well, I'm your guy. You'll probably get someone like myself showing up at your door. If it comes regular freight, what they call regular freight, more than likely it's going to be some dude like me. And with that said, you know, I don't make as many pickups and deliveries as those guys do, man. Oh dear God, I talk to UPS guys just to give you an example of the differences between parcel and freight. I talk to the UPS guys, and some of those guys will say, "Oh man, yeah, I don't have too many deliveries today," because we'll ask each other these sorts of questions. You know, how many drops do you have a day? You know, and you know, just small talk between delivery guys. You know, a different so. And they'll tell, "Oh man, yeah, I don't have that many. I only have 160 deliveries today." I'm like, "Oh my God, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine that many stops. I really can't in a day. That is, on a heavy day for me, I might do somewhere in the neighborhood. It's just a guess, but somewhere in the neighborhood of 15, maybe 20, maybe. That's like a heavy day for us. For me, it is. Typical day, like a Friday. Let me see how many I made Friday. I did I started out with 6 in that first trailer. Let's see, 7. I probably did 12 altogether with my pickups and deliveries. You know what I'm saying? And that was how many hours did I work? 10 hours? 10, 11 hours? You know what I'm saying? So just to give people an idea of the difference, you know what I'm saying? Like that UPS driver might work 12 hours and do 160. Some of those cats do even close to 200 stops in a day. I can't fathom it, man. I really can't. That I can remember that guy that I asked, and he said he only had 160. I'll never forget it because I was at a construction site and I was at a strip mall, and we all know what these strip malls look like. I was at a construction site at the strip malls. You've all seen different strip malls being constructed and different trucks dropping off stuff so they can do what they do. And I was at one of those said stops, and so he pulls in there, and he had to wait a few minutes. Is the only reason we even had to, because those guys are in and out, man. Those brown guys are in and out. And so he had a couple minutes, and he obviously needed some help. So I gave him a hand with this package that he had. It was kind of big. And so, in this small talk, and he said, yeah, I only had 160 today. And I was like, oh my God. In the time, because I had to wait there a half hour. In that half hour to 40 minutes that I was waiting for those construction guys, he stopped. Boom, 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 boom. I watched him go across the street. Boom, 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 boom. And I was like, oh my God, he must have made 10 or 12 stops in that like half hour to 40 minutes. I was just sitting there. I was like, oh my God, I can't imagine that. You know what I'm saying? It was like nuts to me. But yeah, that's the difference, man. And plus, they have to make stops. Even if they don't have anything to drop off, there's a certain amount of stops that they have to make, period, just to see if they have anything, and we don't do that. So major, but we also handle, way different freight. So, and so does UPS Freight, which is a big difference. Yeah. So, but that is what I do. So it's, if I were to get notification, and I use my phone like a lot of other people do for the maps, right, for the GPS. And so if I were to be getting notifications every 5 seconds, it's not going to work. So that's one of the major reasons why they are all off. As a matter of fact, I even darn near shut my phone off, with the exception of letting the GPS work, so it could be tough to get in touch with me sometimes. So you have to, so, but that's how that works. I do make stops at people's houses, and they're often like kind of sometimes shocked because you're not dealing with parcel, you're dealing with freight and freight, just to give people an idea, because I run into this. I ran into this Thursday. I run into this all the time. So if you're ordering something big, let's say oh, look at that pergola set. Oh my God, it's awesome. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to order it. Oh my God, they'll deliver it in 3 days. Yeah, sure. You know what I'm saying? And don't be surprised if the truck gets to your house. If you don't own a forklift, for Christ's sake, and you can't get it off the truck, they take it right back because they charge for everything. You know what I'm saying? You want a lift gate? Cool, we got lift gates, but we charge for lift gate service. You want that not just on curbside delivery? You want that in your garage? We charge for that. Like, everything is charged for with LTL Freight. And that's why it pays well. But that's not just unique to my carrier, which is a union carrier. I am a Teamster, but that is the same way all of them operate. It's you'd be surprised, your non-union carriers are even more strict in a lot of cases. So it's that's the way LTL Freight works. So I brought back 2 deliveries yesterday. There's just no way for them to get it off the truck. And unless the shipper has already arranged for payment on those things, then that comes out of the customer's end. And there's sometimes it's a huge shock for people when you've only dealt with parcel, which is UPS and your postal service and all those sorts of things. Once you start dealing with freight, you realize how expensive it is. So just a little heads up for people that are ordering stuff. I know we run in, we have a global audience here. So just a little heads up as you order stuff. Next time you're thinking about ordering that treadmill on Amazon, fantastic, deliver a lot of treadmills, but unless it's arranged by Amazon, I do a lot of Amazon deliveries. But unless it's arranged by Amazon through us to do liftgate service, someone's got to pay for it, or we'll just hold for it, and we'll call it, and come pick it up yourself. But which often happens actually, because it can be quite a bit more. So. I'll have people beg me sometimes, can you please just put it in my garage, please? Yeah, sure, man. I'll put it in your garage, because it's made clear to you when we make our people will call you when they call for delivery, and let you know that's an extra charge to put it in your garage. We'll put it in there, but you know what I'm saying? Everything costs money, so it's a trip. Just to enlighten people a little bit, because delivery is a lot these days. I'm starting to see some of those new Nuro driverless vehicles in my area. Speaking of delivery, and I think that is the first all driverless delivery, if I'm not mistaken. They're weird looking little vehicles, but that stuff is wide open here in Phoenix. Don't be surprised if you're in Chandler or in Tempe, in Arizona, that is, and you see these driverless vehicles. They're out there. When you look at some of the short little video clips, if you know what you're looking at, you're actually seeing the greater Phoenix area, and with a lot of those video clips when they're driving around with those driverless vehicles. And for those that are wondering, I heard Leo Laporte actually in one of his recent podcasts saying, I guess Amazon isn't doing anything with driverless vehicles. No, they are, my friend. But they're on a much bigger scale. They're doing driverless big trucks, so driverless 18-wheelers. That is their interest. They're more interested in, and I don't know about in your areas, but in my area for sure, I'm getting more and more and more Amazon deliveries. More and more Amazon Flex deliveries, which is good for Amazon because it's saving them a lot of money. But bad for me in a way as the customer, because a lot of those smaller package deliveries were coming through the postal service and getting locked up in my mailbox, which is a big postal locker, for my neighborhood. And now they're not. Now, when they come through Amazon, they're just getting left on my porch. So I'm getting more packages left on my porch, which I guess I shouldn't be talking about. But just to let other people know, it's like, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? As before, if I order a little package, it would just be in my locker, and I could go in there and get the key and unlock it. And I didn't have to worry about, just so many more packages being left on my porch. What do you think, Bum?
I think it's a shame that even now you have to worry about something like that, because even like 5 years ago, there was still, even like the worst criminal didn't steal your packages off your porch. It was just something you didn't do, no matter how dishonest you were.
Yeah.
There was always that little code of honor that people, we don't steal their stuff. Now there's no low to which people will not stoop now.
Yeah, it's and just Hans is in there asking how many stops do I do. Like I said, I maximum, like I'm somewhere in between 15 to 20 tops, like in a day. But like I said, we do different stuff.
While you're talking to Hans, I'm going to go look for another beer.
Yeah, sure. I, I feel like with that Amazon, what was it? What do they call it? Where they wanted to leave packages in your house. Was it Amazon Key or something, or Amazon? Anyway, but they wanted to, and I think they are doing it in certain markets, that they don't do it directly to my house just yet. But you order the camera and you order the lock for your front door, and then what they say they do is they send one of their Amazon delivery people. They can open the door and then put your package just inside your house. And what never made sense to me is there's got to be a large percentage of Amazon customers that are homeowners or even home renters that have a garage door that they could easily just punch in a code and open the garage door and put the package in the garage door without having to come in my whole house. Like, I've never understood that. I don't understand why they needed that, like to come in the house. Why not? If you have a garage, why not, I'll give you the code to my garage door. You know what I'm saying? And you can just slip the package in my garage real quick and shut the garage. Like, I'd be a lot more comfortable with that. Or why not Amazon just have like boxes that we could rent? I'd be almost for reasonable cost, of course, rent or buy an Amazon locker, if you will, and just put it on my front porch. I'd even be willing to mount it there if that's what it took. I don't know what these things would cost, but come up with a number and we'll figure all those sorts of things out. But I'd be even more willing to do that. And Amazon has access to that locker, if you will, that stays on my front porch, and they could deliver packages to that. But I've never understood why they need access to the house when a lot of us have garages, whether you rent or you own a home, or even some people have apartments. Now, I know they have that other service as well where they can deliver a package to the trunk of your car, which I am actually even more comfortable with. I'd be more willing for you to deliver something to my vehicle than to come in my house. What do you think there, Bum?
Yeah, between car and house, definitely trunk of car.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
When you said trunk of the car, I was like, oh my God, that's too much. But certainly compared to the house, yeah, trunk of the car.
Yeah, I would much rather, that. But I'm definitely, if it's an option, coming in my house or if you're in an area where you do have porch thieves, or even the threat of porch thieves, I'd be more comfortable with someone I don't know having access to what's in my garage than to have the code to open my front door.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get that, because there's got to be a large percentage of customers that are just like me. Hey, yeah, you want the code in my garage? Sure. There you go. Leave it in there and shut it, open it and throw the package under there and shut it and go on about it. Like, I don't know. So what are you having now, man?
Wow. I don't know if this is going to end up being a drain pour or not. Wow. And I just smeared the code off of here. We were talking about dating codes. This is a Samuel Smith India Ale. And I just bought this a few weeks ago on my trip in Ohio. I bought this because I thought possibly I hadn't tried it before, one of the Sam Smiths that I hadn't tried. Well, turns out not only have I had it several times, it turns out that the bottle is 2 years old or more. And I just rubbed the code off. But I can tell you from the little bit I can still see. Now, you thought that Julian code is crazy to interpret. Samuel Smith is even worse. you'll see two different letters of the alphabet on the Sam Smith. It's always printed on the neck of the bottle, and you'll see two different letters, and the first letter on this was a K. So you have to count A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. That's 11. That's the 11th month of the year. So November. Then there's like a 25, meaning November 25th. And then there's a letter P. You actually have to go through the alphabet and count A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, which is 16. 16th letter of the alphabet is P, meaning 2016, believe it or not. That's the Samuel Smith coding. So there's also a number on the beginning and end that you don't have to pay any attention to. It's the letters and numbers in between that you have to go by to figure out the code. So when I saw the letter P on here after I bought it, I was like, no, I think we're up to Q or R now on the new ones. I can never remember. But I was like, I think P's old. And then when I counted, I was like, damn, this is from 2016. And Samuel Smith beers have a pretty good shelf life. I've had several of their, like even the chocolate stouts have a long shelf life, even though they're low ABV. Some of their other stuff, the Nut Brown Ale, I've bought it when it was a year old and it tasted fine to me. But this, being a little past, what did I say? November of 16. So this is coming up on 2 years old. As soon as I smelled it, I was like, this isn't going to be good. It's not totally undrinkable, but it's pretty damn close.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
And it was my fault for not checking the code, which you have to do nowadays. And you, like I said, even if you remember to look at the code, some of them have this goofy code that 99% only goofballs like me take the time to figure out how to interpret.
Yeah. I have to admit, I would have never put all that together. As soon as you said it, it made sense.
Well, I didn't learn it myself. There was that website. I don't even know if it's still up. Fresh Beer Now or Fresh Beer Today, and I made it a point to learn that code because I do buy a decent amount of Samuel Smith beer.
Yeah, it's like where it says, man, how hard is it just to put the damn date on the bottle? Like, why all the secrecy? Why even, I mean, when you think about it, when the first, I'm not tempted to call them an idiot, but they're not an idiot because there was a reason for it. But what was the reason? Why not just put, okay, we made it on this day, or it goes bad on this day?
Well, if they would have put this goes bad in November of 2016, or, well, if it was bottled in November of 16, we'll say June of 17. If it would have said Best Buy June of 17, I wouldn't have bought it.
Yeah, and I guess a lot of people wouldn't be able to sell it possibly.
I think I'll get through it, but I'm gonna not enjoy every sip.
So I think what you're saying is the and I don't think they started actually putting real dates on bottles till, I don't know, the last 10 years maybe.
Sam Adams was the first. Bud claims to be the first. Bud may have been the first with the born on date, but I believe Sam Adams was the first to put a Best Buy date on each individual bottle. I believe so.
Yeah, well, they marketed it big time,
and that was way over 10 years ago. That was probably closer to 20.
Yeah, yeah, because that was quite some time back. Yeah, and they made a big marketing deal about it, and it deserved it.
Sure.
Knowing what we do know about these dates the way they are, it's ridiculous. These codes. I mean, it's it's all deceptive stuff, is what it is. I mean, you have to have. I mean, look how long we've had codes on bread. For Christ's sake, would you buy bread without a code? would you buy? I mean, without a date. I mean, we wouldn't buy, or at least I don't buy my lunch meat without a date on it. I need to see the date on my lunch meat. Cheese has a similar shelf life to beer. You know,
Just about everything does now.
Yeah. I mean, milk, would you have to have some crazy code to decode on your milk? You just want a date on there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. So, especially in this day and age, though, now, I mean, beer the way it was done before, as far as the coding, but to not just put a date on your beer in 2018 is nuts, isn't it?
Yeah. But like I said, and it's what Greg harps on all the time. The brewers don't want you to know how old that beer is, because, you know, there's a chance it will sell if there's no date on it. People don't know, so there's a greater chance they'll buy it. They'll leave it sit on the shelf if it's what the consumer feels is too old to drink.
Yeah, well, like you said too, Erd says if I have to solve a puzzle to see how old something is, I'll just leave it there. And he's probably a small amount of consumers even in 2018, because like you said, a brewery like Samuel Smith is going off of their rep, right? They're going off of, well, that's still a Samuel Smith's beer. It's I know it's going to be a good beer, and that's probably what made you buy it, you know?
Right.
Without looking too hard at the date, you're like, well.
And with the Samuel Smiths, I usually do, and it just so happened I didn't in this case for whatever reason.
Yeah. So let me show the Untapped on this one here. Let's see here. Whoops, wrong page. So we've got 48,000 ratings on here, 300 in the last 30 days, 5%, 46 IBUs, and 3.42 bottle cap rating. Brewed with well water, the original well at the old brewery, sunk in 1758, is still in use, with the hard well water being drawn from 85 feet underground. Wow, that's some cool ass information right there, man. That is cool. Best malted barley and a generous amount of choices aroma hops fermented in stone Yorkshire squares to create an exceptionally full-flavored complex ale with an abundance of maltiness and fruity hop character. But in this case, since you don't put the actual date on the beer, we have one said consumer that's consuming said beer that's bad. You know?
I am going to get through it, but I was going to say I've learned my lesson with Sam Smith, but this was the rare time that I forgot to check. But once again, most people, majority, aren't going to be as ridiculous as me and learn the code.
Yeah, well, and that's, we've talked about everybody's different little roles on here before, and everybody has their own little interest, and that's what makes Share a Beer, because I don't. Even after you said it, I still will forget it probably another week from now. So it's good that we have guys like yourself on here, Mark on here, and all, you know, to remember these sorts of things and remind us, you know, of these dates and stuff, because there's a few different ones, right? I know Budweiser, you know, granted they're a huge brewery, but Budweiser, boy, you can even break it down to the line it came off of.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, that's really breaking it down. Not just the day, but the time and the line it came off of from what brewery is pretty cool. I think they, you know, once you decode it, their little system that they've got, it's pretty cool that you can break it down.
When Sierra had the issue with the potential, never proven, but the potential broken glass, they put out their list of potential batch numbers, and once they told you, you then knew how to interpret it. Once they told you how to see if you had a bad batch, potentially bad.
I remember that, and I think that was like not too long after. I think they had sent me some more beer, and I still put out a video, kind of wagging the finger at them a little bit, because it was like, shame on you guys for not doing something more about this. Like, it was kind of ridiculous how. I think they did have like one case or two. It was a small sliver of cases that they actually had this happen to, didn't it?
I can't remember. There might have been, but I can't recall offhand.
It wasn't something that was gonna happen to most of us, but it was more of a precautionary thing,
right?
Especially with, I don't know, what did it end up being that they pulled, like 3 different beers?
Yeah, it was like Torpedo, and I forget what the other ones were. It was only certain style.
It was some of their big sellers though, and it was kind of disappointing to me. I remember that. It was kind of disappointing to me that they didn't, get after that more. But boy, I think just these few years later, had it been in this climate that something like that happened, boy, they would have definitely reacted a lot more swifter and a lot, I mean, you would have to these days. I mean, even a handful of years later, I don't even know that it was a handful of years. I think I was in Arizona when that happened.
Was that maybe less than 2 years ago? Maybe
less than 4. I'm thinking.
Oh, certainly maybe less than 4. I'm going to guess about 2 years ago or slightly less.
Yeah. Hey, we got Jason in the chat. Beer, bike, and barbecue on here. We got Iceborne on here. I don't know that I've seen Iceborne. It is
January of 17, Joe.
Oh, was it? Okay, so that's that definitely less than 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Pale Ale. The Beer Camp Golden IPA, Hop Hunter, Nooner Pilsner, Otravez Sidecar Orange, Torpedo, and Tropical Torpedo. Yeah.
Oh, and that's what made it a big deal, because Otravez, there was that other, I think there was 3 or 4 new beers they were coming out with.
The Sidecar Orange was new, and I believe Tropical Torpedo was new.
That's what made it a big deal, is because you had one of the big names, or at least 2 of the big names, and it was tied in with these new beers that they were making a big push on.
Yeah.
And I remember it.
And the other new one, I'm sure, is the Beer Camp Golden IPA, because that was a one and done.
Now, what a difference, right? January of 17. Now, look at the climate from January 17 to now. You ain't even doing that now. A year later, man. A little over a year later, you're reacting a lot differently if you're a big company.
Yeah, they'd have lost. They'd lose a quarter of their their market, never to return. They'll move on to somebody else.
Yeah, things swing too fast. Actually too fast. They do. They swing too fast.
People are already moving away from Sierra to now, just on principle, say, oh, they're too big. They're, slowly turning into what Sam Adams is, because they're putting out too much product. The quality is declining. I'm hearing that now about Sierra, who was, considered top of the line, 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. No, is there a lot of push away from Sierra Nevada? Is there?
I think by some people, not by me, but the people who ride the wave of trends, which I certainly Like I said, I'm a loyal Sierra customer. I buy other things. I buy just as much Sierra as I did 10 years ago. But I have noticed like their fall pack that just came out. I bought it, and I bought it because the tumbler that I mentioned last week, the tumbler brown ale that I loved and missed, is included in it. And but the rest are just pretty, nondescript. I can't even remember what's in it. But they're putting out a lot of non-exciting things now, to me.
Yeah, let me go through that. You've got me curious about their list of beers here. I haven't been on their website in a while as well, so it'd be kind of.
And your birthday.
Yeah, and you just reminded me of that.
And every one of these ones that use cookies and they say "remember me," they don't remember me.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, see, and this is even more ridiculous. Okay, I want everybody to see what's happening here. At the same time, it's happening to me. Look at this. So you got to enter your birthday. So you got to go through all these years. I mean, look at the way they're doing it. I mean, who cares? 1902. That's when I was born. How about that? So if you enter a year early enough, you don't have to go through all the other crap. It's just, come on. Dude, you gotta love those mugs. Love those mugs. What else do they got? Single hop. So you got the Hop Harvest Festival, Saturday, October 20th. So let me get to the beer. So you got the year-round stuff. So you got the pale. You got the Torpedo Extra, Tropical Torpedo, hazy little thing IPA, the Sidecar, which we talked about, Otra Vez, the BFD. I still haven't had this.
Yeah, and that's an example of what I mentioned, that there's just, there's nothing to that beer. And I mean I know that's the goal of that beer for drinkers, but it's just a bland macro tasting law.
And you've got, so these are the year-round. So you don't expect nothing revolutionary here, but you've got the Hop Hunter, the Nooner Pilsner. That's a session, right? The Keller Weiss, the Porter, the Stout. Okay, now you're starting to get into some of the little bit crazier stuff. So you got the seasonal, the Hop Bullet Double IPA, the Summerfest. Okay, the Oktoberfest is what you just had, right?
Yeah.
It's the Celebration, which is, I mean, come on.
Those are all good.
Variety pack. So you got the 4-way IPA.
Yeah.
The Party Pack. The Fall Pack, which is new, it says. So that's out. Let me click that. Let me see what's in the Fall Pack. So you got Ruthless. Ruthless, a rye IPA.
Yeah, and that's decent. But that Vienna is nothing to write home about.
Yeah. Then you got the tumbler. Yeah, the Torpedo and the tumbler. So okay. And let's go back here again. So we've got come on. The Snow Pack. And then they've got the Hot Pack. So you got the experimental. And so this some of these packs are the same beers, just put in different packs, right?
Yeah. The experimental hop. There was a hoppy lager, and hop pilsner. There was nothing special about any of those. I tried them all.
Okay. So you tried them all, and there was nothing super crazy there. Yeah.
I still like. I try everything new that Sierra puts out that I'm able to buy.
What about the Southern Hemisphere? How about printing the cans upside down?
Yeah, I never saw that for sale around here.
So you've got the Southern Hemisphere hops. That could be kind of interesting. So you've got hops have a let's see, we're able to get a variety of fresh hops from Australia and New Zealand, whose Southern Hemisphere growing season is the mirror image of ours, to star in this collection. So these are basically hops from Australia and New Zealand. So you've got the similar beers, but just with hops from that region of the world. So you double IPA, the Hoppy Pilsner, all made with Southern Hemisphere hop. So I haven't tried that. So I have to admit I haven't tried it. Then you got the fresh hop. Okay, so now you got the high altitude stuff. So the Bigfoot, I think everybody's had that. The Hoptimum, I think Norwal. I think those three everybody's had. Specialty. Okay, I've had this. The Ovila, right?
Yeah.
The Harvest. The Estate. I haven't had Estate. What is Estate? I haven't even had it. Let me see. Our handmade estate ale highlights the flavors of home. So what the hell does that mean? From the sun-drenched fields of California's North Valley comes our estate ale, which is it's rich with the flavors of the valley, hops with earthy grapefruit-like flavors and layered spicy aromas, and barley with mild sweetness and smooth toasted flavors. All right. I haven't had it. 6.7%. 67 IBUs. Have not had a Cascade hop. Of course it is. They use Cascade for everything, don't they?
It seems like it. I have had that one, but I haven't seen it for sale around here for a couple years now. The Estate,
the old Chico Crystal wheat, yeah, and the Trip in the Woods, and that's definitely they make a large. I see a large variety of these. This must be the recent one. So you've got the Maple Scotch. They've got a large variety of these Trip in the Woods. I wish they would list them all, but right now they just have the Maple Scotch, which is Scotch ale brewed with maple syrup and aged in bourbon barrels. So 2018 release, one of 3, and they don't even have all 3 of them here. Just have 2. You got a 9.8% ABV, aged 10 months in bourbon barrels. And then you got Tequila Otra Vez, aged in Reposado. Am I saying that right? Barrels? Let me see. For this limited offering, we pushed beyond the typical barrel-aged beer theory. We got our hands on some tequila. I'm just Reposado, tequila oak barrels, and then aged our new Otra Vez Gose. I know people hate the way I say it, with lime and agave. This Trip in the Woods starts out tart yet juicy with. I've got to get my hands on that. Tart yet juicy with hints of lime. For the finish, unmistakably silkiness of classic. I don't know what that is. Apparently, am I the only one that don't know what that is? I have no idea what that is. Or Bum, sorry. Did you mute yourself?
Yeah, my phone was ringing. Yeah, the printing's too small for me to.
Let me make it. What's that?
Reposado? I have no idea.
Yeah.
No clue.
Yeah, I don't. But it's a 6.5% ABV when it's aged in tequila barrels. Wow. But I know that Gose is a pretty, what, a 4 something? 4.2 or what is that? Let me click on it and see what it is. We've got 4.9. There you go. And 6 bitterness. I know it goes down silky smooth. I'm gonna have to. The problem with those Trip in the Woods is that they're expensive.
Yeah, that's why I haven't bought any of them. Too expensive.
they're expensive. You pay for them, but you know, you might be right. We just looked through at least what they have online. I know even just with the Trip in the Woods series, they have more, but just for what they have online, yeah, nothing really wows you. Could we say the same about Rogue? Is Rogue?
At this point, yeah, yeah. I've said it, you know, we say it about Sam all the time, and you've heard me say this countless times. I was around when Rogue was new, and people were, I mean, just blown away. I was blown away by the bottles themselves, but the beer compared to everything else back then, the beer was better than most everything else that was out there.
Now, what's going to separate them right now, right off the bat, and I don't know, maybe you could clarify this for me, but Rogue has spirits. I don't know that Sierra Nevada has its own spirits.
Right. Rogue's branched out into all different kinds of things, including spirits.
Yeah, and I for me personally, they make so many different beers, just like Sam Adams. Like Sam Adams has a large catalog of beers every year, man.
Yeah.
They do get a little, you know, but they've got now. See, this is the one brown that is, man, is so good. Every time you have it, it's just so.
I still enjoy that. But Rogue's another one.
Beers are good.
Rogue does not date their big bottle. So unless I know something is brand new when I see it on the shelf, it's a brand new beer, I usually will not pick it up.
Oh, look at this sour. Oh, I have not had that. Ooh, it comes in a 6-pack. Look at that.
Yeah. I've seen it for sale, never bought it.
Yeah, I've never bought it either. I haven't had it either. I love when they display their beer like this. I am a huge fan. This Pendleton Ale, good stuff. That's a solid, just kill one right after another type beer. If I remember right, was I disappointed with this cold brew IPA? I think I was a little disappointed because it didn't quite have the coffee like I was hoping.
I vaguely remember you drinking that, and yeah, you may be right on that. I just bought a bottle of that 10 hop IPA reluctantly, because once again, no date on it, and an IPA, you're really taking a chance. But I had never seen it for sale before. I bought it out of town, so I grabbed it while I had the chance.
Tough to pass up a Rogue stout, man. Rogue does stouts pretty darn well, especially these chocolate ones. The double chocolate's good. I like this labeling on their chocolate stout now. That's cool.
At one point, Shakespeare Stout was my favorite stout, without question.
Okay.
This is 20 years ago. There's your Rolling Thunder, Joe.
Yeah. Oh, that was so good. That was so good.
Yeah, I would have killed for to try that.
Oh, I'm so glad I took that to Atlanta and shared it with Mark and Pam. It was and then Mark made those steaks on the green egg, and oh my God, that was a fantastic beer to have with, and a big beer, dear God. But yeah, oh, that was so good. God, I still remember that one. I have had this honey cold. Oh no, I have had their honey coach, I think.
I have a ton of old Rogue bottles, Rogue's discontinued styles. I was checking them out on Untapped, and a lot of them are not listed on Untapped because they're so old, and nobody has added these. So pretty soon, when I take pictures of all my Rogue bottles, I'm going to be adding a bunch of new old Rogues to Untapped that are not on there yet.
Now look at this. What a disappointment, because that's the bottle I had. So 17 must be the last of those bottles, and this is the new 18. What a disappointment, because that was a flip top bottle. It's a big beer. You're not going to drink that whole bottle. Or I'm not going to say you're not. I know I wouldn't, so it'd be handy to have that flip top so you could, have a nice 10-ounce pour. I mean, you're not even going to have, well, I think a regular pour is on a beer this big is 8 or 10 ounce pour on these sorts of big beers. So it's nice to pour a beer and be able to shut the lid and put it away for later use. You don't even have that option with the new bottle. That's kind of sad to me,
Now,
you know?
how big of a bottle is that? Because looking at it next to the glass, it's hard to tell what size that is.
Well, you figure me, Mark, and Pam all had a glass, and I think I might have had a small pour after that, and I think maybe Mark did as well. And there was still more in the bottle. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a
I mean,
decent sized bottle.
For the 18, do you think it's the same? Because look at the glass that it's next to, that 18 bottle.
Okay, here we go. You got a 33 point something ounce bottle here.
Okay. Well, that's the 16, yeah.
In the past. So, and now we've got 1.9 ounces. So yeah, the bottle shrunk. I'm sure the price didn't go down any.
I'll bet.
You know. And let's see here. Yeah, 1.9 fluid ounce. So
yeah, 25 ounce.
So it definitely lost some weight. So, because I do remember that beer costing them. It cost me a nice little chunk of change. I don't know, $30 maybe. I don't really remember, but I know it cost me a pretty penny, but I could not pass it up. And I can't tell you how happy I was that this is the cold brew. Oh, that's the 2.0 though. That other one was the okay. So the Hazelutely Chocolicious or something. Yeah, that was fabulous. Good. Yeah, I mean the Mocha Porter's decent. The Pumpkin Patch, I don't remember. I know I've had. You know what? I've got that in the fridge right now. I'm like, I know I've bought it. I've got that in the fridge right now. The Straight Out of Newport was decent. I remember that.
Haven't tried it.
I've passed this up so many times. I don't know why I have. Yellow Snow Pilsner. Oh, bless you. We've got the Fruit Salad Cider. Who was our friend in here earlier that liked the cider? So they're doing quite a few different little things here. Let's see if we can get their spirits up here. I'd be interested to try their spirits.
You noticed what was not on their list of beers, Joe? Though looks like they're not making any more of those Voodoo Donut abominations in the pink one.
Oh my God, that was.
I guess they finally got the message. People didn't like them.
Yeah, no, that beer. I even regret that you reminded me of that beer. That
Sorry.
I didn't like it. There was some huge fans of it. There were some, and I think they liked it just because it said donut and it was pink. You know what I'm saying?
I like the pink bottle. I bought 2 years in a row the peanut butter banana or whatever it was, and the first one was the maple bacon, I believe, and I gave up after 2 years of they put out 2 or 3 more, and I never bought them.
Man, I tell you what, I've seen their whiskeys. Every time I go to Total Wine, I see their whiskeys. And it looks like they've got some new bottling. I have not seen these bottles, but man, the Pinot Spruce Gin sounds interesting to me. You got the Oregon Single Malt, which sounds interesting to me. Man, some of these. Oh, did we get malt liquored on a Friday?
Yes, we did.
Is that a first?
I don't know if he's like on the old Friday show, if he ever malt liquored us or not. I'm not sure.
I do not remember that. Wow. Yeah, I don't know that we've ever got malt liquored on a. But hey, dilly dilly to him on a Friday.
Mm-hmm. Hope JVEG as well. He hasn't been making too many videos this year. Used to
Oh, he
make
hasn't really.
one per day. It's probably under a dozen this year.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Man, maybe there's just the malt's just not quite what it used to be.
Possibly.
Hey, you know what? One thing. Earth says Joe is officially the oldest person alive.
Because you checked in 1902.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention though, and TD Burris, I wanted to make sure to get him in there as well because he jumps in from time to time. Always, there is some stuff that has been coming up, and I just haven't mentioned it. I want to mention it on tomorrow's show as well. But Twitter, that social network out there, Twitter, I've cracked up for years because Twitter is just one of those things that I don't even use. I just don't, and I crack up every time I hear of someone getting in trouble on Twitter and people that say they're addicted to Twitter and they can't stop Twittering, and I'm like, God, people still use it? Like, do you still use Twitter? Is it still relevant to you?
You know my answer to that question.
I know, right? Yeah. That's why I figured I'd bring it up tomorrow as well, because it's just one of those questions to me, like, man, do you still use Twitter? And in this climate, this year specifically that has been happening on Twitter, it's just so full of hate. Like, for all the people that say they don't want to hate on stuff and they want things to be positive and all this stuff, what is positive about Twitter?
I have yet to see one thing.
What good comes out of using Twitter? I mean, I think some of the stuff that I put on social networks goes to Twitter. You know what I'm saying? But I don't do it. I don't mean to post on Twitter. I think it goes on there, but I don't directly post on Twitter. That's for sure. It's just I don't know what good comes out of being on Twitter. All I ever hear about is people getting in trouble posting stuff on Twitter. Like, it's just so full of hate and discontent, isn't it?
But to me, it's no different than Facebook.
Yeah.
No different. People do not seem to be able to control themselves, and it amazes me that this late down the line, people knowing what can happen and what has happened to people because of their inability to censor themselves, people are still getting into trouble using it. And not 15-year-old kids. That's what kills me. This is 50 and 60-year-old adults who should know better.
Oh yeah. No, there's a lot of things blamed on millennials because people like to say the word millennial. It's just this fun little group of people to blame stuff on. But I know it take, for instance, we move from social networks to driving, and there's a lot of things blamed on millennials or young people that I see everybody doing, regardless of age. I see senior citizens on their phone holding up traffic because they, I have to scroll through my Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like, that can't wait for, you're not looking at anything but ads scrolling across. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're certainly not educating themselves on it.
No, there's nothing that can't wait. But I know it may feel like to certain people but oh no, I have to see this right now, and if I could count the amount of times that I am held up, which is gonna seem like a small amount of time. The problem is that when you're in a big truck and a lot of people say, well, you go slow anyway, and then talking about traffic, that is, and you get that person ahead of you that's on their phone, and it takes them that extra 2 to 3 seconds to even, oh, okay, yeah, it's my turn to go. Well, now that takes even longer for me to get going, and so another person doesn't get to go through the light. You know what I'm saying? Or just all those little 2 or 3 seconds, or even 4 seconds in some cases, just adds up over the course of a day. And
I had to honk at somebody. I was the second person at the red light, and I had to honk at the person in front of me, and I was like, they're on their phone. I know they're on their phone. The light turned green.
oh, yeah.
They're just sitting there. They're on their phone.
Yeah, it's just, it is going to happen, because one of these days one of my goals is to be able to get a camera that I can mount in my truck so you can watch me drive. For some people that might be interesting, I think, and just so you can see what I do when I'm driving, and give people, that aren't familiar with what a city driver goes through, and to see the different situations that happen because it's hard to explain, or even if you do explain these situations, it doesn't seem like that big a deal. But I think a lot of people would be very familiar, no matter where you live in the world, with different traffic situations that happen out there. You know what I'm saying? Because the amount of time that is just wasted, because that person holds you up for that 3 or 4 seconds, and that might stop you from even going through that light, and so that light takes another 2-3 minutes, to change over now, and so that makes you even that much later, or miss a delivery time for someone else, for some whatever important reason they had for needing that delivery at that time. So it's one of these days, that is one of my goals, is to get one of those, I don't know, GoPro cameras or something that I could mount in my cab. I'm thinking in back of me here, and then that way you could see out in a wider angle and see me driving, and just kind of see the whole thing. I think that'd be kind of interesting. I think I might do something like that.
Cool.
And post. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just said that would be cool.
Oh, okay, yeah, and I think some people would enjoy that sort of thing, just to see what your typical, because it's slightly different than driving over the road. Slightly, it is different. It's a different world. I'll occasionally, and it's typically when I'm fueling, every once in a while when I'm delivering somewhere, one of the over-road guys will ask me a certain question, but typically when I'm fueling at a truck stop, or I'm at a truck stop, they'll like, hey man, do you drive local? And they'll want to ask you something on how to get around this or do that, which is fine. But it is a world of difference. Sometimes those guys will want to ask me questions on, well, what kind of freight comes out of here, and like as a general area, and what's going on right now with the freight, so they can kind of find loads for themselves. And I'm like, man, I don't have any idea. Like, we are doing two different things here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in a different world than I am, so it would be interesting. It's definitely different than driving over the road. So for those of you that might be, because there's so many people that are interested in getting into truck driving, so I think that would be interesting for people. If you're thinking, I'll drive over the road for a while, and then I'll do some local city delivering, just to see it all on video without me just talking about it is more of a, I think that's more better type of information, no?
And you could occasionally jump in and say, here's one of those idiots I was telling you about. Here's an example.
Yeah, here's one of those situations where I think people would be shocked at the amount of I don't react a lot of times because actually I'm expecting it a lot, and so I do a lot of hand gestures, but I'm kind of like, oh yeah, see that, there it goes. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's like I knew that was going to happen, so I'm glad when that guy finally goes on the shoulder to get around me. I'm glad that finally happened, so that it's like, okay, that's out of the way now. I don't have to worry about that as much, right? I think you'd be kind of shocked at how much I'm always, when it seems like you're already in the slow lane. What are you worried about? Like there's a shoulder there. Someone will come around me on the shoulder. You'd be amazed at how much that happens. It's crazy. Like the stuff people just have to get around the truck. I mean, it's just like, so it's, and anytime someone basically cuts you off or gets in front of you, they're going to hit the brakes. Like it's just going to happen. They're not getting in front of you to not hit the brakes for some reason. Like they're going to hit the brakes. That's just going to happen. So the only things that drive me crazy, because you have to concentrate, so much on them, are people that don't get over. Like, your lane's obviously running out. Why not just get over? Like that drives me insane. So you get someone, they'll stay out here, until the lane absolutely. So they're more of the way I think about it is they're more of a right lane driver. They ride the right white striped line,
I see. Yeah. I see people do that all the time, and the only reason they're getting over is because they're running out of road that they're
driving. Yeah, so they literally just go by the line on the right side,
and sometimes they're totally oblivious to the fact that you are close to them. They're doing no wrong. They're staying in their lane as far as they're concerned, and you're in their way.
Yeah, it's that's the stuff that'll kind of drive me nuts, because now I have to, they're getting like almost 100% of my attention. You know what I'm saying? So instead of paying attention to everything going, I have to like pay so much attention to them that something else could be happening. And there's a lot of situations where, since I am a big target, if you will, I am a high profile vehicle. So someone back here on my left side is coming up knowing that they can get in front of me, because that's just going to happen. People have to get in front of the truck. They couldn't possibly do whatever they need to do in back of me. They got to do it in front of me. And what happens a lot is that person staying over here on the right side, all this person knows is they're going to get in front of me. And so here we go. And then woof, right in front of me, accident. You know what I'm saying? And it happens, and it's just like, you know what I'm saying? So I have to, anytime someone's not getting over and they're just riding that right side like that, and they just stay out here, instead of just getting over in the lane, just get in the lane, I have to really watch it, because I've had accidents happen in front of me like that, and those accidents are literally in front of my hood. So then I have to go around, and that can make a whole nother situation happen. So that's hopefully my goal, is to you'd be surprised what what happened. And then I get birds flying, that part's kind of cool. So you can see.
You had your coyote.
Yes, I've had the coyotes. That don't happen as much anymore. That's more of an over the road sort of thing.
Yeah.
But occasionally that could happen. But now I have just lots of birds, and some birds will just fly across my vision, or some birds will come into my vision and try to stay as long as they can in front of my truck. It's a trip to watch a bird flying right in front of you. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but it's a trip when it happens. They just
I've had it for a brief few seconds in my car, maybe once or twice, just for a second before they veer off.
Yeah, it's a trip because you just, you watch and they're, you're like right behind. They're like flying right in front of your windshield, and then they finally, I guess, just can't keep up, so they'll like go above you or something, or go to the side or something. But it's a trip how often that happens. So I figure, I'll get one of these cheaper. I keep looking. Amazon keeps having really good sales on these like GoPro-ish cameras, and so I keep checking them out, trying to find the right deal that has kind of all the accessories with it, so I don't have to buy them all separate. Because I think some people would enjoy that sort of thing. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm gonna go have some beers at the bar today. I haven't done it for a few weeks, so I'm due.
I have a great beer that I'm gonna drink on the show tomorrow night. A lot of my Detroit and Ohio stuff I bought with the show in mind, and I've already had one. That man juice that I bought that for no other reason than just to show it on the show and say, look, I'm drinking man juice. I bought another beer solely for the name. As soon as I said I must buy this and consume it on the Share a Beer show, just because of the name of this beer. So I'll have it tomorrow.
Yeah, that happens a lot for me. There's a lot of beers that I buy just because I'm like, oh, the guys will love this. This will be great.
That's the case with this one tomorrow. I was gonna have it last week, but I decided to have the Stroh's instead. So tomorrow will be the funny name beer.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night's show. So for those of you that don't know, we do the show. The main show is Saturdays, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. So look us up. More than welcome to join in. Thank you to Jay Vega and to TD Burris. Earth, of course. We had Tom in there for a little bit. Hans. I mean, we had quite the chat going today, man. I'm really thankful to everybody. I really honestly am, guys. I couldn't be more sincere about it. I really do thank everybody that participates. We had Dane, Chris Clark. I mean, man, we had quite the chat today. So thank you to everybody's support. Even if you just watch and you never even jump in on the chat or anything, thank you, guys. I do appreciate it. We always have viewers. We pretty much, anytime we jump on, we always have viewers, and most people are welcome. I'm not gonna say everybody. We've had some crazy ones, man. So, but thank you so much. We'll be here again tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. You guys take care. We'll see you again, Bum.
See you tomorrow, Joe.
All right. Peace out, man.